Hey soulmate, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a new subscriber, take your seat, you're welcoming. And if you are an existing subscriber, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. We appreciate you. Alright? In today's tutorial, guys, we'll be teaching you how to make various types of neckline. Alright? Without much ado, let's start. The first neckline we'll be working with today is called the crew neckline. Alright, the normal basic neckline. Alright, we go in with a 3 inches width and then we go in with a 3 inches depth as well. Alright, so we curve it out and this is what it is going to be looking like. This neckline is mostly used in corporate wears. Alright, most of those corporate wears this year around, this is the neckline they mostly use there. Alright, so I'm going to cut this out and you're going to see what it looks like. Alright, so this is the basic neckline. Alright, this is what it looks like. Alright, so we said 3 inches depth and 3 inches width. Alright, so the next neckline we'll be working with is like an asymmetric kind of neckline. Alright, so we go in with the 3 inches width and then the depth is going to be 2 inches. Alright, and then we're going to curve this first one out. Alright, and we need the shoulder in order for us to, we're going to use the shoulder to kind of like lay emphasis. Alright, so we're immediately going to like extract our armhole. Alright, so that we're going to see the point in which we're going to start the measurement just by the armhole. Alright, so I'm going to extract the armhole out just like this. Alright, and just by the armhole we're going to come up by 2 inches. Alright, this is why we needed the armhole, very important. So and then we're going to slant in 7 inches towards the first 2 inches that we took, just down. You see, it's under the first 2 inches that we took. Alright, so we're just going to slant it in just like this. Guys, you can use your ruler. Alright, but I kind of use freehand here. Alright, we're going to curve it into the 2 inches. Alright, just by the armhole, just like this. Okay, we're going to cut this first one out so that you will see. If you want to extend it, we're equally going to extend it. We're going to cut 2 out of this so that you are going to choose the one that you prefer. Alright, so we cut the first neck out just like so, and then we come down to this other side, this asymmetric part of the neckline. Alright, and we are equally going to cut it out, but be careful to open it up. Do not cut it together because it's just one-sided. Alright, so you open it up like so and you cut it out just like this. Alright, but if you think it is not deep enough, so you can actually deepen it more by coming down by 2 inches. Alright, both on the armhole side, extend it more 2 inches, that's 4 inches altogether, and then on this other part close to the neckline you equally extend it by 2 inches. It was 7 inches before, but at this point it's going to be 9 inches altogether. Alright, and you just curve it in like that, slightly like that. Alright, and we are going to cut it out. Alright, so that you will see. So guys, once again we open it up and then we cut it out just like this. So you see, you have the 7 inches and the 9 inches. Depending on what you want, you pick one of it. Alright, so this is what it actually looks like at the end of the day, guys. It is very beautiful, used for mostly. So guys, the next one we're going to be working on is going to be the sweetheart neckline. Alright, we go in with a depth of 4 inches, a width of 4 inches, and then a depth of 6 inches. Alright, but you can exchange it, you can change it to 7 or 8. Alright, then we take that out. Alright, on that depth of 6 inches we are going to divide it into 2 which is going to be 3, all right, and then we are going to mark it just there, all right. We're going to curve it in, all right. Remember, this was 4 inches, all right. The depth is 6 inches, all right. We divide the 6 inches into 2, making it 3 inches. From that 3 inches point, we're just going to curve it down to the front, all right, just like I'm doing here, all right. Just watch what I'm going to do and just do likewise. Curve from that 3 down into the front, all right, and then you go ahead and cut it out. This is the sweetheart neckline. We label it, all right. So we're going to go ahead and cuff it out so that you see what it looks like, all right. It is a very beautiful, one of the most beautiful neckline, all right. So guys, this is what it actually looks like, the sweetheart neckline, okay, looking and sitting pretty. The next neckline that we are going to be working on is the keyhole neckline, all right. So for the keyhole neckline, we're going to come in with a width of 3 inches, all right, and we're going to come in again with another width of 3 inches, all right, and we're just going to like bring out that first part, all right. So from that 3 inches that we took, we're going to come in with another 3 inches, okay, and on that very 3 inches, the second 3 inches, we will be going in with 1 inch, all right. So from that 1 inch, we're going to connect it to our first basic, which was 3 inches down up there. So we're just going to connect it exactly the way I am doing so, okay. That was 3 inches, all right. We came down again by another depth of 3 inches. We still came down with another 3 inches, all right. So that's like 6 altogether, and then this other one was 1 inch, all right. By the keyhole side, we took 1 inch, okay. So we're just going to cut this one out so that you are going to see what it looks like, all right. And if you don't feel comfortable while you're working with it, you feel that it's too small, it's not wide enough, you can go ahead and extend it, okay. So we're going to like extend it a little bit with half an inch. You can do that with 0.25, you can do that with 0.75, you can do that with another 1 inch, all right, depending on how you want the keyhole to be deepened enough, all right. That is we extending it again for you to see with 0.25, okay. I'm equally going to cut this one, and then I'll open it up for you to equally see, all right, the difference. You can extend it by 0.5, you can extend it by 0.75, another 1 inch, that's like 2 inches altogether, depending on what you're working on. But this is what it looks like. So the next neckline that we're going to be working with, guys, is Queen Anne neckline, all right. So we label it just like this, okay. So guys, on the width, we're going to come in with 3 inches. You can make it 4, you can make it 4.5, depending, all right. And then on the depth, we're going to go in by 8 inches, okay. So the depth is 8 inches, the width is 3 inches, all right. So we're just going to draw a straight line at that point of 8 inches, and then we come up by 3 inches, okay. On the depth of 8 inches, we go up by 3 inches, all right. At that point of 3 inches, we slant it in, like we go straight in by 4.5, okay. The width is 3 inches, the depth is 8 inches. By 8 inches, we come up by 3 inches, and then on that very 3 inches, we take a straight measurement of 4 inches, 4.5 inches in, all right. So we will be connecting this dot so that you see what it looks like. All right, we take from the 3 inches down to the 4.5 point, and from that 4.5 point, just like I'm doing, we take it again to the 8 inches. All right, we are going to go ahead and cut it out so that you will see what it looks like. So guys, this is the Queen Anne neckline. You can equally play around with it. If you want the base to look like a W, you can play around with it. All right, I'm going to cut another one with a gown subsequently so that you see what it looks like. So this is our Queen Anne neckline sitting pretty. Okay, all right guys, we move to the next neckline. All right, the next neckline we will be working with is the inverted Queen Anne neckline. All right, so, or it is otherwise called the W neckline. We go in with a width of 4 inches and a depth of 8 inches. Okay, and then we draw a square just to guide us. All right, so from that point of 8 inches, okay, that is 4 inches width and this is 8 inches depth. Okay, so from that point of 8 inches depth, we are going to be going in with 3 inches. Okay, from that 3 inches, we are going to make like a slant down into the 8 inches. That is where we extract our W looking like kind of shape. All right, so we slant from that 3 inches down to our 8 inches. Okay, and we're going to go ahead, cut it out so that you see what the inverted Queen Anne neckline looks like. Okay, so guys, this is it sitting pretty. All right, this is the W neckline, otherwise known as the inverted Queen Anne neckline. Okay, yeah, that is it sitting really pretty. All right, 4 inches, 8 inches, 3. We move ahead to our next neckline, which is the one-sided neckline. Okay, we go in with width of 3 inches, 3 by 3. First of all, this we extract like a basic neckline. All right, we start this with a basic neckline, which is 3 inches depth and 3 inches width. All right, so we are going to cuff that out, cut it out. When we cut it out, guys, we are going to like open it up in order to get the one-sided neckline. At the point of the shoulder, you divide your shoulder by 2. All right, here we have 4 inches. All right, and from that very point, we are going to slant it from the middle down into the 4 inches that we mark. All right, remember we divided the armhole by 2. So when you divide your armhole by 2, you take a point there, you start from the middle to slant it in just like I'm doing. All right, that is where you have gotten your one-sided neckline. All right, this is one of the common and beautiful kind of neckline. All right, so that is it sitting pretty. Don't forget to always open it up. All right, we move to the next neckline. Okay, so guys, the next neckline that we're going to be working with, we're going to take a depth of 4 inches. All right, that's the up shoulder. We're going to take 4 inches. You divide your shoulder by 2. Okay, you can make it 5, you can make it 6, depending on how revealing you want it. All right, but for this one, I divided the shoulder into 2. All right, you can use 5, you can use 6. It all depends on how deep you want. All right, and you come down by the divided point by 1 inch. You can equally go up. In this neckline, it is either you go up or you come down, still depending on what you want it to look like. But I'm going to show you this one so that you use this as a basis, okay? So we came in by 1 inch, we came down by 1 inch, all right? So just like this, and then we slant it into the 4 inches that we already had there, okay? Just like so. All right, we are going to go ahead, we're going to cut it out so that you see what it looks like. For the 1 inch that we use, you can use 1.5, all right, if you want it deeper than that. All right, so that is what it is, the up shoulder neckline. Okay, I'm going to open it up and you see what it looks like. By the armhole, that is where you attach your sleeves. Okay, that is where you attach your sleeves. All right, so we're going to go into the next neckline, which is the square neckline, one of the most beautiful neckline. So guys, we come in with a width of 4 inches and a depth of 7 inches, okay? But you can extend it to 8 or 9, all right? So at that point, this is the real square neckline. We just take a square shape and then we cut it out. It is that simple and easy, okay? Pardon this ruler I kept saying, that was a terrible mistake. So we just cut it out, all right? Just like this, all right? We just cut it out, and this is the real square neckline, okay? So we open it up for you to see. I'm just wondering why I brought that ruler there. So guys, this is the square neckline, all right? 4 inches and 7 inches depth. You can extend it, all right? So we're going to move over to the next one, which is the scoop neckline, okay? We equally go in by 4 inches, all right? 4 inches width, and then in this other one, we're going to be using 9 inches depth, all right? So we extract a square, which is going to be like a basis for us, all right? And then at that point, we are going to like take a curve, just assuming we are extracting an armhole, all right? Just curve it down like that, and then at that point, we are going to cut it, all right? So we'll be having our scoop neckline. This neckline is mostly used in all these bodycon tops, you know, all those stretchy tops that we use, because it looks really beautiful, all right? Sometimes revealing the boobs a little bit, you know. It is a very sexy and beautiful neckline, okay? So this is what our scoop neckline looks like, guys. Sitting pretty just like that. It is that simple to cut. Guys, we move on to our next neckline. The next neckline we'll be working on is the V neckline or the plunging neckline, all right? We call it the V neckline or the plunging. We go in by 4 inches width and a depth of 10 inches, okay? The 10 inches, you can use 9, you can use 7, you can use 8 if you don't want it to be too deep, all right? But to have that plunging shape, all right, you're going to come up by 1/2 inch, all right? This is going to like lay an emphasis on where you're going to like slant it. You don't want it to be like too wide there, so you come in by 1/2 inch, all right? And you take a straight line up to the shoulder part of it, all right? And you are going to cut it out, all right? This neckline can be used in the front. It can equally be used, mostly used at the back, all right? So this is what it looks like. I am going to open it up so that you see what it looks like. That is it. Very beautiful. So if you want the width to be a little bit wider, you can use like 5, okay? But it must not necessarily be too wide. We move to the next neckline, all right? We're going to be working with a width of 4 inches, and then 5 inches rather, with a depth of 2 inches. This is the boat neckline or the canoe neckline. All right, mostly used in tops. All right, all these Igbo tops and all of those kind of tops, a canoe neckline. All right, the boat neckline, guys, a width of 5 or 6 inches, and then with a depth of 2 inches. All right, and it's equally used on corporate wears as well. All right, this is one of the oldest type of neckline. All right, so we cut it out and we open it up so that you see what it looks like. Canoe, I label it canoe or the boat neckline, guys. So just open it up so that you see. All right, this is what it looks like. It is sitting pretty right there. Okay, all right, so guys, we're going to go ahead and move to the last neckline, which is the asymmetric neckline. There are different types of asymmetric neckline. I wanted to show you 3 different types of asymmetric neckline, but let's start with this one. All right, so we're going to go in with a depth of 6 inches. Okay, a width of 6 inches. All right, then we divide it. That is 3 inches here, 3 inches there. We come in with a depth of 7 inches. All right, a width of 6 inches, which is divided. All right, and then a depth of 7 inches. Okay, so we take a square, which is going to guide us from that 3 inches that we divided. We took 6 and then we divided it. We mark at a 3. All right, we're going to go ahead and connect it just like this. Okay, from that 3 down. Okay, just like this. All right, so we connect it like this, and we're going to go ahead and cut it out so that you see what it looks like. Guys, there are different types of asymmetric neckline. Okay, this one is just one of it. I'll be cutting other ones subsequently, so just hang in here with us. Like, share and subscribe so that you will see what we have in store for you on this channel. Okay, so this is the asymmetric neckline. This is just a type of asymmetric neckline. Okay, we have a whole lot of asymmetric neckline. So guys, we have come to the end of our tutorial, and we ended up having the asymmetric neckline, the keyhole neckline. All right, sitting pretty just like this. We equally did the inverted Queen Anne neckline. All right, we did the plunging neckline, all right, otherwise known as the V neckline. All right, we cut, all right, the Queen Anne neckline, sitting pretty there. All right, we equally had the scoop neckline. All right, guys, so that is it, looking really pretty right there. We had the sweetheart neckline, my best. All right, looking pretty right there. We did the basic neckline. All right, we equally had the square neckline. We cut the canoe neckline, guys. All right, so we have come to the end of this tutorial, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification